Codgemilla Fulcher is Misha Kaylee. 100,000 welcomes, my name is Kaylee. When people talk about Highland dancing history, Highland fling in particular, you'll hear stories like the grandson learning to hunt stag with their grandfather and watching a stag prance across the river, and then the grandson getting up and replicating those movements, which for the Highland fling already calls into question dancing on the spot. Or you might hear of the story of Highland warriors dancing on the Taj, which is a Scottish round shield with a spike usually in the centre of it, which hurts my feet just thinking about that. Instead, let's consider some key dates. The Battle of Culloden, which led to the Act of Prescription in 1746. Simplistically, Highland identified culture was banned. People from the Highlands began relocating to places like Nova Scotia, and somehow the so-called heyday of Highland dancing starts in 1750. The first piping competitions was held in 1781. This was the ancestor to the modern-day Highland gatherings. This is 1 year before the Act of Prescription was repealed in 1782. Mind you, that event was organised by the Glasgow branch of the Highland Society of London. And then the first Highland dances, as danced by the pipers at these competitions, was in 1783. And then the first mentions of the tune, the Marquis of Huntly's Highland Fling, was in 1793. Note, it is similar to the Pois de Bill song Sal na Nila. And finally, the first known recording of the steps was published in 1841, for the heyday of Highland dancing to end in 1850. And I am constantly convinced that Highland dancing is not as ancient as pop culture suggested when I was growing up. Modern Tang for listening to my rant. Cheery!